Meanwhile, for Memphis 901 FC, they get Brandon Allen from Tampa Bay, and JJ, at every level, he's been an outstanding goal scorer.
Yeah, Brandon Allen, 7 goals in the season, all of which have come inside the 18-yard box, and 6 of them have come with 901 FC since he was signed from Tampa Bay June 26th. He's the club's leading goal scorer right now. The most dangerous attacking threat, in my opinion. He's ruthlessly efficient in front of goal, and if he gets service inside the 18-yard box, I expect for him to score multiple goals tonight.
And they're the match winner in the last outing for 901 FC, 2-1 over Loudoun United. When we come back, we'll give you the starting 11s and the opening kick of this crucial match between St. Louis and Memphis. All right.
Cool.
As 901 FC, a return to Memphis is a welcome. A welcome development after playing fourth. For Memphis 901.
Yeah, because I think it's a little loud. I mean, it'd be a great night for it.
I know. I love that the window's open, but yeah,
but I think
PA is so loud.
Yeah, and just with Love City Mafia right there.
Yeah,
I think it bleeds in a lot because we get a good bit of sound even with the windows closed coming.
Yeah.
From them. But it would be awesome, man, to have these open tonight.
All right. For Memphis 901 FC. St. Jude contingent checking in.
Where's that?
Now they just, I don't know how Jason Potter knew we had our pins on.
Oh, yeah.
Unless he was he's somewhere in the building and he saw us in the booth.
I think is he a soccer guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's probably, if he's not here, he's probably watching.
I know, but that wouldn't have gone over the air yet.
That's true,
Because
right?
we just taped it. So that's like, hey, how did you know that?
That's true.
He's got to be around here somewhere.
That's true. Jason's a good guy. I like him a lot.
The best. For Memphis 901 FC, a return to Memphis is a welcome to.
Did y'all ever pass on anything?
We sat two seats apart on press row.
Okay.
Opening kick of this crucial match between St. For Memphis, and he and April always have like a little hospitality for Cooper Young Fest.
Okay.
So my wife volunteers for WEVL. I was like, okay, sweetheart, you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours. I am not standing out here. I am going to their house and having a beer.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you got your keys to the match, right?
Got them.
All right.
STL.
STL, baby.
Just Russell Cicerone?
Cicerone. Yeah. Fanuel Kavita, Boehner.
Yeah, I'm at Boehner.
Camden Feo, Cicerone.
Mastakashare.
For Memphis 901 FC, a return to Memphis is a welcome development after playing 4 of their last 5 matches on the road. Tonight, a crucial meeting with St. Louis with playoff implications. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the excitement of USL Championship Soccer from AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. 901 FC taking on St. Louis FC. And as we welcome you into our broadcast booth here at AutoZone Park, Pete Pranica, JJ Greer. JJ, 2 teams in excellent form. St. Louis has won 5 in a row. Memphis has won 3 in a row. For Memphis, outside the top 10 in the Eastern Conference, an opportunity to meet the moment. Yeah,
7 games left in the season for 901 FC. You're 8 points outside of the playoff picture, so every game is massively important, especially at home. You really need to get 3 points. You get your captain, Mark Birch, back, and Wes Sharpie, 2 really important guys in the back line. So should be a great crowd tonight and great weather for 901 FC.
Both of these teams have struggled to score goals at periods this season. Tyler Blackwood for St. Louis, coming over from Sacramento Republic, has been sensational.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 goals in the past 7 games since coming over from Sac Republic August 13th, and what a fantastic pickup he's been for St. Louis, as you see him score here against New York Red Bulls too. Tyler Blackwood has pace, he makes intelligent runs, and he's really been a great pickup and should give 901 FC a lot of problems tonight.
Meanwhile, for Memphis 901 FC, they get Brandon Allen from Tampa Bay, and JJ, at every level, he's been an outstanding goal scorer.
Yeah, Brandon Allen, 7 goals in the season, all of which have come inside the 18-yard box, and 6 of them have come with 901 FC since he was signed from Tampa Bay June 26th. He's the club's leading goal scorer right now. The most dangerous attacking threat, in my opinion. He's ruthlessly efficient in front of goal, and if he gets service inside the 18-yard box, I expect for him to score multiple goals tonight.
And they're the match winner in the last outing for 901 FC, 2-1 over Loudoun United. When we come back, we'll give you the starting 11s and the opening kick of this crucial match between St. Louis and Memphis. And welcome back to AutoZone Park. The heat has finally abated somewhat. A gorgeous night for soccer here at AutoZone Park as Memphis starts a 3-match homestand. We look at the starting 11s. First for St. Louis, Jake Fenlison will be in goal tonight. He has 7 clean sheets, 12 total for St. Louis FC. We talked about Tyler Blackwood. Russell Cicerone is also very dangerous out of the midfield with 5 goals and 3 assists. Meanwhile, for Memphis 901 FC, a record of 7-13 with 7 draws, 28 points. Jeff Caldwell in goal. Wes Sharpie, Mark Birch both sat out the Loudoun United match with an accumulation of 8 yellow cards. They will be back tonight. Memphis will not have Dan Metzger. He picked up his 8th yellow card in the Loudoun match.
So a strong squad tonight for 901 FC. Really talented attacking players with Marcus Epps and Brandon Allen, Elliot Collier.
As you look at the St. Louis coach, Anthony Pulis, in his 2nd season as the head coach after coaching Orlando City B for 2 seasons, and took one of his sides to the playoffs and took St. Louis to the postseason last year as well. They were 8th in the Western Conference last year. Tim Mulqueen, of course, Memphis 901 FC in their inaugural season, 7-13-7, currently outside the top 10. Talked to Tim Mulqueen yesterday. He said, as a coaching staff, we don't talk to the players about the playoffs. Now, you talk to the players, and JJ, there's some thought in the back of their mind, well, if we do this, we can get there. But, of course, Tim Mulqueen, as the head coach, it's always one game at a time.
Of course, you know, as we were saying before, Pete, and as a former player, you're always kind of looking at the schedule and seeing where, you know, you can potentially, where you feel like you should get 3 points, and, you know, some matches where that might be tougher. But as a coach, you know, they're looking at not even just week-to-week games, but day-to-day in terms of training schedule and all that stuff. So kind of the different mentalities between the coaches and players. St.
Louis has won their last 5 matches, beating Hartford, Ottawa, Nashville, Birmingham, and Red Bulls 2. They haven't lost since August the 24th to the Ottawa Fury. And Memphis, of course, has won its last 3 matches, and we'll have a recap of the 3-match win streak coming up at halftime. Memphis in their home blue kits. St. Louis is in white. And we are underway from AutoZone Park. Glad you're with us wherever you may be watching tonight. That swept into the box, and Doyle misfires on the clearance, but Memphis is able to clear the area.
Yeah, interesting. A little bit of a miscue there from Liam Doyle. Rare from him. Typically extremely solid in the back, but Wes Sharpie was there to clean up the mess.
Liam Doyle, another mid to late season addition for Memphis. And a lot of those additions, and there's another one, Pierre De Silva, paying dividends. Here's another one, Marcus Epps. Epps starts a run. Nice ball to the outside. De Silva, however, loses it, and then it's swept away by Sean Reynolds to concede a throw to Memphis.
Really cheeky idea there from Pierre De Silva. You can see already they look like they're in the mood for it, Marcus Epps and Pierre De Silva.
Elliot Collier, formerly of the Chicago Fire. Ball into the 18 and then passed out. Josh Morton, he tries to serve. That was deflected by Paris G. As you get a look at Jake Fenlison, 16th start in goal for St. Louis.
So far, good attacking start from 901 FC in that front line. Some really encouraging forward-thinking play there. You saw Marcus Epps and Pierre De Silva combining, and then Josh Morton getting forward as well.
Both these teams, JJ, very organized, and so trying to figure out how you can disorganize the other side or score on the counterattack will probably be at the top of the agenda.
Yeah, there's some really experienced players here in USL Championship, and even, you know, some higher levels as well. So definitely will be a chess match tonight between both of these teams that are in St. Louis looking to stay in playoffs and continue to push up, and 901 FC, of course, trying to make playoffs.
Epps with the takeaway. Fernandez gets it back. And Sean Reynolds now for St. Louis. St. Louis missing 4 players due to injury. Audie Jepson, Joaquin Rivas, Albert Dikwa, and Matt Thomas are all out tonight. Dan Metzger, as we talked about, will not play tonight due to yellow card accumulation. For Memphis, Raul Gonzalez, Tristan Hodge, both out with knee injuries, and Abdi Muhammad is day-to-day with a foot injury, but not available for selection tonight.
Like a bit of a handball there from Brandon Allen, trying to keep possession and fight off Sam Fink and the other St. Louis defending players, and our referee Dejan Susak was right there to see that one.
First meeting between these two teams was postponed due to lightning and storms in St. Louis, and on the rescheduled date, a 0-0 draw. This is Cicerone wearing the number 9 shirt.
It's good tight marking there from Captain Mark Birch on Caleb Calvert, not allowing him any space at all to have any room to maneuver on top of the 18-yard box.
Mark Birch back in action, and good defending there by Calvert for St. Louis. And the foul given to St. Louis, as we remind you, Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
See the crafty play there from Pierre da Silva, as we saw time and time again these past several weeks, just easily gliding past 2 and 3 players with some tremendous footwork.
Could not connect with Brandon Allen, but Allen chests it and settles it. St. Louis very good defensively. I've referenced the fact that they have 12 clean sheets. That's tied for second in USL Championship play. Phoenix has 14.
And they're anchored by that back line with Sam Fink and Fenwell Kavita and Jake Fennelson have formed a really tight trio, a tight partnership back there. All 3 of those players are really experienced and big, strong, physical players. So Brandon Allen's going to have his hands full tonight.
Epps trying to make his way against Sean Reynolds. Epps looking for a cross, swept but then held by Memphis. Ball in and deflected out. I believe that should be, will it be a corner or a goal kick?
Looks like it's a corner
there. It is a corner.
Absolutely tremendous 1v1 ability. Marcus Epps showing his ability once again early on in this game, just taking on Sean Reynolds right away, right from the beginning, showing great footwork and able to whip in the ball. Typically, Brandon Allen, you'll see him on that front post, but looked like he wanted to hang back on top of that 6-yard box. He was looking for the cut back there, but great play from Marcus Epps.
See Epps. Corner kick taken by Mark Birch. And off the deflection, Birch will come back to play for Memphis now into the 6th minute here at AutoZone Park. And ball deep in, headed by Doyle.
Lovely diagonal ball there. About a, 45, 50-yard diagonal ball on the money there from Cam Lindley onto the head of Liam Doyle, but unfortunately no one there to get on the end of that knockdown from Liam Doyle.
Doyle signed August the 5th, previously with Nashville.
You see Pierre da Silva, how sharp he is tonight, and Elliot Collier, both that 901 FC front line looking really sharp tonight, combining very nicely.
Da Silva trying to work a give and go, but it was broken up. Good smart start here by Memphis in terms of possession, and I think getting better ball movement and player movement, which has been an issue from time to time. And again, trying to work a give and go there. Leston Paul was trying to get to it but could not. This is Blackwood wearing the number 14 shirt for St. Louis, and it's out for a St. Louis throw.
And to your point, Pete, on the ball movement and player movement, you know, having that first, second, third man running, that's just, you know, these guys are finally getting some games together. They have some games under their belt together, and a lot of times offensively it takes guys playing together to be able to do those 1 and 2 touches and just know where people are.
Da Silva and Epps combining there. Birch, the veteran of MLS, and has been just so good a presence in the locker room. I talked to Tim Mulqueen. He said, I do not have to worry about what happens in the locker room because Mark Birch has it taken care of.
Absolutely. He's like, you know, it's the luxury of having a coach on the field, right? He's been through every situation. He's seen it all, you know, played at the highest level in the U.S. for, 13 years in the MLS, and you know, he's wearing the captain's armband, and you know, when he's out there, there's just a sense of composure and calmness that he brings. And also Liam Doyle from Nashville, that was a huge signing as well for 901 FC. But both of them just bring such composure to 901 FC.
Da Silva playing it wide, possession lost momentarily. Epps back with it for Memphis. A little back heel, but could not connect with Sharpie.
Yeah, that one didn't connect for Marcus Epps, but you like to see the flair. You like to see him trying things. You want to see him confident. That's his game. You know, that's when he's playing his best, when he has that freedom to be able to create and show a little bit of that magic.
With just weeks remaining, the pressure is officially on. Tune into ESPN3 on October the 2nd at 8 p.m. Central as El Paso Locomotive look to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno FC has its sights set on hosting some playoff games. Locomotive FC and the Foxes October the 2nd at 8 p.m. for Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. Goal kick for Fenlison. Doyle winning it in the air for Memphis. Foul called here as Paris G goes down.
Yeah, kind of a strange one there, but Dejan Susak electing to make the call. You see on the replay here, some contact there, but, you know, it looked like Paris G went down a little bit easy, you know, not saying that he was diving or anything, but, you know, I don't know. I'm not too sure what else Elliot Collier would have done, but St. Louis FC will have a free kick in a pretty dangerous position here, definitely out of shooting range, but I expect this ball, looks like it's Master Kacher and Colin Fernandez standing over this one. They'll look to whip this in right on top of that, in between the 18-yard box and PK spot.
Memphis has conceded first in each of the last 3 matches. Now they've come back to win them all, but it's not the start that they want. Beautiful ball in and right to Caldwell in a momentary bobble, but handled safely by the native of North Carolina.
Yeah, decent ball there from Master Kacher. Probably delivered that one a little bit too deep, and Jake Caldwell was able to handle that.
Keys to the match presented by My City Rides. JJ?
Absolutely. We have stay physical, take chances, look after the ball. Spells out STL. The first one, stay physical. You know, St. Louis is a really experienced team of some pretty physical guys. Match their intensity from the beginning, which 901 FC has done. Take your chances. Get the ball to Marcus Epps and Colin Fernandez and, Cam Lindley, and allow them to find Brandon Allen inside the 6-yard box. He will score. And look after the ball. Take care of the ball in the midfield. Don't give away cheap chances that'll lead to counterattacking plays for St. Louis.
So free kick, Cam Lindley, loaned on April the 12th from Orlando City. And a giveaway there, and an opportunity now for St. Louis. Cicerone.
It's well done from Cam Lindley.
Well done indeed, and it will be out for a throw. You see Jeff Caldwell applauding the effort of Cam Lindley to make sure that Cicerone, who already has 5 goals, did not pot a 6th.
And that's Cicerone's game right there. He's a hard-working player. He's kind of a pest, if you will. As you saw, just took the ball right off of Leston Paul's foot after we just talked about looking after the ball. But Cam Lindley, Leston Paul's midfield mate, another pit bull in the midfield there to make an excellent play and keep St. Louis off the board.
G with a beautiful ball in, and it's headed out.
Yeah, it looked like once again, as you see Jeff Caldwell yelling at his defense to tune in and really stay focused. It's a well-delivered ball from Paris G, whipped right onto the head of Russell Cicerone. Unfortunately for St. Louis, Cicerone can't quite get on the end of that, but well done from Cicerone in St. Louis.
Now, Cicerone has been a goal scorer, particularly at the collegiate level. Played at the University of Buffalo, had 42 goals in his collegiate career. Well, so far, a clean sheet, and if Memphis 901 FC completes a clean sheet, you will win $5 off a $10 purchase at Chicken Salad Chick. Download the app now, and we'll give you the promo code when that clean sheet occurs. Jeff Caldwell has 4 of those on the season. Made a mistake in the 5th minute against Loudoun United, allowing the home side a 1-0 lead, but Memphis the beneficiary of an own goal, and then Brandon Allen in the 81st minute.
And that was really the only knock on Jeff Caldwell in that game. You know, typically extremely solid in his decision making, but you know that's what comes with being a young goalkeeper. You know, he has all the physical tools, he has the the technique and the athleticism. But goalkeeping, as I've said before, 95% of it probably is about decision making. And unfortunately, on that one, made the wrong decision, but made fantastic saves countless times against Loudoun United. And 901 FC will definitely need him tonight to make probably more than a couple saves if they want to get 3 points out of this game.
Birch with the diagonal ball for Epps.
Fantastic ball. About 50 yards on the money, right onto Marcus Epps' chest, and well done from Sean Reynolds, marking him tightly, not allowing him any space to go 1v1 again.
And good marking there as well. This is Caleb Calvert starting a run and a push from behind, and the foul given. Pierre De Silva with a push from behind. And JJ, we talked about the fact that Memphis conceded first in the last 3 matches. In 2 of those, they were what Tim Mulqueen classified as bad penalties, and then the goalkeeper error. You just don't want to do things like this in a match of this importance, and De Silva with the foul and another free kick in a dangerous area for St. Louis.
Yeah, if you give teams like St. Louis that are, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, they'd be in there, and they've got experienced guys and really good guys, especially on set pieces. You'll see Sam Fink and Fanuel Kavita come forward in these set pieces. If you keep giving away silly fouls like this, in the final third, St. Louis will capitalize on chances like this. It looks like we have Colin Fernandez standing over this one. He'll whip this one into the 18-yard box.
Good ball headed out by Morton to concede the corner kick now to St. Louis. First one for St. Louis.
Yeah, good positioning from Josh Morton there. Stayed tight to his man and was able to head that one out of bounds. Unfortunately, it was for a corner kick, so it'll be another dangerous opportunity for St. Louis.
It'll be Cicerone. I beg your pardon. It'll be Cashier.
Cashier's got really good service on him, right-footed player, really good delivery. This one will be an in-swinging ball, whipped in, probably to the near post.
And a half volley, and that's bounced out by Cicerone.
Yeah, decent punch from Jeff Caldwell. He probably would have wanted to do better, not to punch that out on top of the 18-yard box, maybe to get that one a little bit wider, but fortunately for 901 FC, Cicerone was not able to put that on target.
Cicerone, originally drafted by the Portland Timbers, played for Timbers too, also played for FC Cincinnati last year.
Cicerone's just a really busy player. We've called his name multiple times tonight, and I'm sure we'll call his name much more. He's active all over the field, defensively and offensively.
G. Calvert. And Birch is there defensively.
It's well done for Mark Birch, sticking tight to Calvert, not allowing him any service into looking for Tyler Blackwood up top and some of those other attacking St. Louis players.
G, a native of Canada, developed in the Vancouver Whitecaps system.
And G is a player that I really like. See him on the ball now. He's got really good service and is really good in 1v1 situations. I expect for him to get forward tonight, whipping a lot of balls. And if 901 FC doesn't pay close attention to him, he's known to get on the score sheet as well.
Morton sends it out, so a throw again for St. Louis. The end of the 17th minute.
Yet another ball whipped in from Paris G. Looking for Tyler Blackwood, we haven't called him much. As you see Brandon Allen chasing this ball down. We haven't called Tyler Blackwood's name much, but he's a type of player. He doesn't need a lot of opportunities to find the back of the net.
Out for a Memphis throw.
It's well done from Josh Morton. Good switch over the far side to Wes Sharpie.
Both sides, their passing accuracy in the early going here has been on point.
Absolutely, these are two teams that are focused at the end of the season, looking for that playoff push. So it's going to take every bit of technique and passing and taking care of the ball if they want to win tonight.
Lindley tried to drop it off, but intercepted, and possession now to St. Louis.
Yeah, it looked like Cam Lindley got caught between two different things there. Couldn't tell if he wanted to shoot it or pass the ball, and in the end ended up giving the ball away. But it's good to see Cam Lindley driving forward and looking to be an offensive threat tonight.
Well, Memphis, we talked about the fact they have won their last 3. Before that, a 5-match winless streak during which they had just 1 goal. Now, during this winning streak, they have scored 8 and conceded just 4.
Yeah, and I think, that win streak, maybe you've played a few teams that are a little bit weaker and towards the bottom of the table, but it's also a culmination of these attacking players like Marcus Epps and Brandon Allen really coming into their own and starting to gel and start to score goals.
Good thought there, trying to get it to Morton, but just off his boot. And into touch now for St. Louis. Every opponent that Memphis will face the rest of the way is above them in the table. So it's going to be a rough, rugged go for Memphis. 28 points, 13th in the East, so they have to do a little bit of climbing, and the schedule is favorable in terms of home matches, but less than favorable in terms of strength of competition.
Absolutely, but if you're at home, towards the end of the season and you're playing well, there's really no excuses. You just really have to suck it up and go out there and give it your best shot. But they have the squad now. The talent is on the team. It's there, and these games are they're there for the taking. They probably will need a little bit of help, in the table in terms of some other favorable results. But I really think 901 FC will have a chance to fight for that last spot in the playoffs when it's the end of the season.
We'll give you the entire Eastern Conference table during halftime, get you up to date on scores and what's going on all over USL Championship. Here we're 0-0 in the 20th minute. Birch, nice connection with Epps. Marcus trying to turn but cannot. He's well marked, and then a Memphis foul.
It's really good defending there from Sean Reynolds. You see Mark Birch continually hit that diagonal ball directly onto the chest and the foot of Marcus Epps, but Sean Reynolds doing a great job of staying close to him and being on his first touch, not allowing him any space, and able to earn St. Louis the foul.
Epps not thrilled, native of Jackson, Mississippi, one of only a handful of professional soccer players who have come from Mississippi.
Absolutely, and we have two of them on our roster with Raul Gonzalez as well, who is coming back from a knee injury, but suspect that he might make his return soon, which would be a huge boost for 901 FC as we get to the end of the season.
Turnover by Memphis, but Doyle is there to collect for 901. Fenlison out to collect it.
It's good work rate from Brandon Allen as well, keeping those defenders honest. That's not really his strength, chasing down balls like that, but it's good to see him active and always staying aware and maybe trying to pick up a few turnovers as well off that St. Louis back line. See a little bit of gamesmanship there from Fenwell Cavita on Pierre da Silva. Kind of knocking that ball away to allow him to get back into his center back position. That's a veteran move from Fenwell Cavita.
Morton looking for a friendly face. And a lot of holding and no whistle.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. You see how strong Fenwell Cavita is, just really moving Elliot Collier out of the way on that particular play. So that's going to be a really good battle to watch, and Elliot Collier and Brandon Allen going against two physical center backs in Sam Fink and Fenwell Cavita.
We talked about the run of form for both these teams. These are the only two sides in the Eastern Conference that have won at least 3 consecutive matches as an active streak at the moment. St. Louis has won 5, Memphis has won 3.
Definitely two teams that are trending in the right direction, and we'll see how tonight's game goes, but I fully expect St. Louis to be in the playoff picture come the end of the season. They've got too much talent on their team, front to back, with Blackwood and Calvert up top, and then anchors in the back line like Sam Fink and Fenwell Cavita. And if 901 FC keeps trending in the right direction, who knows? As I said, they'll need some favorable results, but they'll be right there at the end of the season.
And a big collision and a play on, an opportunity here. Cicerone from distance.
Really strong strike right there from Cicerone. Fizzed that ball wide. Jeff Caldwell looked like he had that covered. Of course, a lot of controversy right now going on between Tim Mulqueen and our fourth official here, Steve Erdo. You see the strong strike there from Cicerone. Sent that ball wide, but once again, Cicerone involved in the St. Louis attack.
Anthony Pulis, head coach for St. Louis. Caldwell with the goal kick.
You see the reactions from some of the coaches and the players. You see what this how important this game is in the season and what point we are in the season. You know, every single play, every single tackle, every single battle matters in this game, and fighting for the 2019 USL Championship playoffs.
Blackwood dispossessed. Doyle playing it forward, but Reynolds with the interception for St. Louis. Reynolds looking to turn. Sharpie marks him. Blackwood distributes, and that one, I believe, caught a Memphis boot on the way out. Or perhaps not.
Yeah, interesting decision right there from Cicerone. I couldn't tell if he was looking, or maybe that might have been Mastica. No, that was Cicerone. Couldn't tell if he was shooting that ball or looking to whip it in for a cross into Blackwood and Calvert, but fortunately for 901 FC, that one sailed way over the crossbar.
It's Wes Sharpie, 26-year-old from Tarpon Springs, Florida. De Silva overran that. Yeah, there's Birch again.
It's an interesting play there. I didn't know if Pierre De Silva could see the ball or if it was just a really crafty play from Colin Fernandez, but 901 FC able to regain possession.
Tactically, Memphis would like to work side to side because we had talked about it earlier. This is a very organized and composed St. Louis defensive side. So moving from side to side, we've seen some diagonal balls early trying to create some space in that St. Louis back line.
Yeah, you see St. Louis, they have no interest in pressing 901 FC high up the field. That line of confrontation looks like it's starting at the end of the circle at midfield, but no interest at all in pressing Liam Doyle and Mark Birch and Jeff Caldwell. Looks like they're going to wait to press 901 FC when they get around midfield, and some extremely physical play so far as you see temper starting to flare in this game.
But the foul was given to Silva, taking exception to Colin Fernandez's challenge.
Yeah, Pierre De Silva not happy with that challenge from Fernandez, and he's not going to back down, and this will be a dangerous position right here for 901 FC, as it looks like Mark Birch and Cam Lindley will be standing over this one. But you see on the replay here, it looked like a pretty high boot there from Fernandez, and definitely some studs showing, and Pierre De Silva definitely took exception to that one, and Colin Fernandez is probably lucky to escape without getting a yellow card.
So in the 27th minute, Birch, who has been able to connect and find the back of the net with a free kick, sends that one in, and it's headed onto the roof.
Fantastic ball, fantastic delivery, whipped in from Cam Lindley onto Josh Morton's head, who is always available and active inside the 18-yard box, and got a really strong forehead on that ball, but just sent it over the bar. Jake Finlayson, I think he was beat on that particular play.
Morton, who has 3 goals in all competitions, was looking for a 4th.
And that's definitely something to look out for in tonight's game. 901 FC extremely effective on set pieces. You know, when you have guys like Cam Lindley and Mark Birch just whipping in balls time and time again. You see on the replay here, what a ball in from Cam Lindley. And Josh Morton connects nicely with that, but just unfortunately cannot send that ball down.
Service for 901 FC has been sharp so far tonight. This long ball for Epps is too long. As we remind you, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. And another more gamesmanship from St. Louis, messing with the ball after it has gone into touch and allowing them to get back defensively.
Yeah, St. Louis in no rush to get this game in play, and definitely some chess moves going on in this game. As you see the strong tackle there from Leston Paul, not backing down from anything. You know, Leston Paul and Cam Lindley, 2 real pit bulls, kind of diminutive in stature, but massive heart and really strong players with low center of gravity. So really strong tackle in the midfield from Leston Paul, and Tim Mulqueen will love that. Will love to see that from his midfield.
Lindley. Epps now working the right channel after working the left earlier. Into the 18. Nice move. Crossing, and that will go out for a goal kick.
Some great ball movement in midfield from 901 FC as Marcus Epps once again gets that ball out wide and goes 1v1 and gets the better of PSG. But as you see here, dip of the shoulder, cut outside, but looked like he was kind of caught in between sending that ball across to Brandon Allen and shooting, and ends up sending that ball out of bounds for a goal kick. But really good attacking play from Marcus Epps and 901 FC.
And Epps with a takeaway there. Lindley. There's another diagonal ball. Trying to connect with Brandon Allen.
Looks like we had an offside call on that play as Cam Lindley looking to send Brandon Allen into the channel, which is not a particular play that 901 FC looks for in Brandon Allen. Not exactly what you would call a speedster, more of a guy that makes really smart runs inside the 18-yard box, but something that Cam Lindley and Brandon Allen are always looking for. They're always looking to find him into space and find him into good spots.
Goal kick here coming from Memphis. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch Memphis 901 FC on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Half-hour mark has passed us here in Memphis.
I think it's been a good 30 minutes, first half hour for 901 FC and St. Louis. Really been a really cagey match so far, as I mentioned a couple times, a chess match. But good that 901 FC hasn't conceded early in this game and has kept pretty good possession and has had a few chances. So good start from Tim Mulqueen and his side.
St. Louis credited with 3 shots, Memphis with just 1. I asked Tim Mulqueen yesterday at training, I said, well, slow starts in the last 3 matches. How do you turn that around? He said, I wish I had the answer. But I think the answer was no poor penalties conceded, certainly no goalkeeping errors, no major errors that would result in an early concession of a goal.
And when you're facing a tough side like St. Louis, I think those are really the most important things to focus on, is don't concede early and don't concede late, as well as 901 FC has done at crucial times this season, conceding late in the first half and really late in the second half as well. So, but a good start so far from 901 FC.
G taking a long time to throw in, and a steal by Epps. Oh, Epps, what a move. Goes down, and a foul given here, and so Memphis again with another free kick opportunity.
Once again, Marcus Epps showing that flair, the Mississippi magician, just scooping that ball and eluding 2 defenders as he was double teamed. You see him steal the ball first from Mastica Share, and then whoop, looked like, watch your legs, PSG there, just right through PSG's legs, gets them in the nutmeg, and PSG has no choice but to foul him, and we'll have a free kick with Mark Birch and Cam Lindley standing over it.
And now Dejan Susak, our referee, clarifying everything in the 18.
It'll be interesting to see. It's like a Mark Birch in-swinger.
It was low.
Yeah, really flat ball from Mark Birch. Not his best delivery, as I would have liked to seen him either go near post or maybe whip into the back post into Liam Doyle and some of your bigger guys. But 901 FC will look to lock St. Louis into their own defensive third.
Talked to Mark Birch yesterday about how difficult it was to sit and watch the Loudoun match. You're the captain. Had accumulated 8 yellow cards, which resulted in him being suspended for a game. Very, very hard for him, but just a total pro and as impressive a person as you would hope to have as your captain.
Absolutely, and fortunately for him and for 901 FC, the boys were able to get the win on the road at Loudoun. And who knows, it might have been a good break for Mark Birch to get. He's not exactly a spring chicken anymore, although he's extremely durable, a very durable player. But it's good to get him back tonight at home at AutoZone Park against a really tough opponent in St. Louis.
Yeah, Memphis playing 3 matches in the span of 8 days. And a foul by Cicerone. Not ideal, but you know, the weather this summer in various parts of the country, including St. Louis, in the first scheduled meeting has been less than ideal. De Silva has it knocked out. Cashier ends up with the throw-in for St. Louis.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting season for 901 FC, hitting on that point, Pete.
Here's a takeaway. Collier from distance, way high for Elliot Collier.
Yeah, that was well done from Elliot Collier to be in the right position. That would have been an incredible chance on goal if he was able to put that left-footed strike on target, but sent that over the bar. But back to your point, you know, been an interesting season for 901 FC. See the replay here. Elliot Collier looking to just put his left foot through this ball, his weaker left foot, but sends that one over the bar. But yeah, 901 FC has had some really long breaks at times in this season, and also have had some games in really shorter stints, as we'll see coming up. But the guys have done a great job at, you know, staying composed, and Tim Mulqueen and Ben Pierman and his staff just done a great job at maintaining the workload of the squad.
Very poor goal kick from Fenlison.
And the crowd letting them hear it.
Again, coming up at halftime, we'll take a look around USL Championship, give you the scoreboard, give you the table, and we'll also take a look back at those 3 901 FC victories. That and more coming up at halftime, 10+ minutes away.
See, it kind of looks like that St. Louis line of confrontation keeps getting further and farther back as 901 FC just continuing to work that ball from side to side, as you were saying, Pete, and inching their way down the field.
Now Doyle with a run. Lindley intercepted, and a counterattack opportunity here. Cicerone running onto it in the right channel, sends it in. That's knocked down, and Memphis is able to clear.
Yeah, good recovery there from Cam Lindley to be able to get his foot on the ball and not allow that cross to be sent in from St. Louis after the poor giveaway from Cam Lindley. But well done on him once again for getting back and able to do his defensive duties.
St. Louis is a vastly different team on the road than they are at home. They are 8-1-5 at home. They are just 3-8-3 on the road. They have played 14 matches on the road, 14 at home.
You know, they say it's always tough when you go on the road in this league and in any sport, really. But you know, really, you know, as a player and as a coach, when you go on the road, you at least try to look for a point, right? You don't want to give away all 3 points and come away with nothing. So it looks like St. Louis is looking to do that tonight. They're not pressing high up the field. They don't necessarily need to win this game as much as 901 FC does. So I wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis is looking for maybe a counterattack and get out of here. You know, they would hope of course, with the win, but I think Anthony Poulos and his staff would be happy with the draw on the road.
St. Louis is +11. Goal differential at home. They are -7 on the road. They've only scored 12 road goals all season long.
You know, what that tells me is that they're extremely cagey on the road, right? And as you see tonight, looking to sit back and get a counterattack.
For Memphis to have legitimate playoff aspirations, 3 points in their account would be massive.
Yeah, 3 points is really vital at this point at home. You know, whether you're facing a playoff team or not, you really need all your games at home.
De Silva, and again, a Memphis player taking an aggressive strike, but well off target and high.
It's great movement from Pierre De Silva once again, but you see the frustration that was on Brandon Allen's face at the end of this. He wanted that ball at his feet as he was making that near post run that he always does. You know, that's a really, really tough angle for Pierre De Silva to try to score at, as he put his foot through the ball but was nowhere near net. And Brandon Allen, of course, would have wanted that ball slotted across, but great movement from Pierre De Silva.
Saw Tim Mulqueen. I asked him, I said, okay, run of form lately has been really good. What has it been? He said, frankly, it's been time, because there have been so many mid-season acquisitions, and if I'll give it to St. Louis here, so many mid-season, late-season acquisitions, trying to get everybody on the same page. It has not been easy. And JJ, you know as well as anybody, chemistry and the ability to connect with your teammates, it takes time. It's a process.
Especially chemistry offensively. It's a little bit easier to get guys on the same page in terms of defending and keeping the ball out of your own net. But when it comes to attacking players, you know, everybody everything has to be such in sync, and sometimes you got some egos, and you're supposed to have egos. Everybody wants to score, right? And it can be a lot harder to get everybody on the same page. But that's happened so far in this past month and the end of the season.
Sharpie looking to turn to Silva. Give back Sharpie. Collier to the byline, and it'll be out. And it will be a corner kick for Memphis.
Once again, some great ball movement on that left hand, on that far side of the field for 901 FC. As you see Pierre Da Silva, the little backheel flick there, and Elliot Collier goes 1v1 against a guy been there. Looks for the nutmeg, almost gets it, and goes over the goal line. It will be a 901 FC corner kick.
Cam Lindley will take it. Second corner for Memphis tonight. Fenlison settling the defense for the visiting side. Far post and headed out by Sharpie. Sharpie got a head on it. Doyle was also back there. The ball well delivered, but it was touched by St. Louis, so another corner kick coming for 901.
You saw what Cam Lindley was trying to do there. Whipped that ball into the back post, right on Wes Sharpie's head, and looked like that hit off the shoulder. Looked like if Guy had been, it'll be another 901 FC free kick, with this time on the other side with Mark Birch standing to it. We have a yellow card here. Looked like that might have been awarded to Russell Cicerone. Maybe a little bit too much contact there in the 18-yard box.
See if we can get clarification on that, if it was indeed on Cicerone. Birch has it set. Far post, Doyle battling for it, but it is out. It'll be another Memphis corner kick. 901 FC continuing to apply pressure to this very good St. Louis defense.
Yeah, we'll see if third time is the charm here for Cam Lindley and 901 FC, as we'll have another in-swinging corner kick.
Epps is on the far post. It's away and headed out, and last off Memphis. So finally a goal kick. Fenlison can breathe a sigh of relief.
It looked like Josh Morton once again got on the end of that one. This time was marked closely by the St. Louis defender, but well done from Josh Morton to time and time again continue to be dangerous inside the 18-yard box and set pieces.
Confirmation that it is Cicerone with the yellow card.
This is the time here where, you know, with about 6 or 7 minutes left in this first half, for 901 FC to really focus and not concede at the end of this half. And it'd be great if you can score, of course, but not to concede as you've done several times at crucial moments earlier this season.
4 first half stoppage time goals conceded by Memphis this season.
And then that game, that would really be against the run of play, which is what you don't want, obviously, at home here at AutoZone Park.
Memphis has had the far better of the possession story. 70% possession here in the first half and 79% passing accuracy.
And it's been possession in really good areas of the field as well. It's not just passing at midfield.
And now another yellow, and I believe this is Marcus Epps. And Epps continuing to protest.
Dejon Susak didn't like that Marcus Epps was standing too close to that free kick opportunity for St. Louis, as St. Louis was trying to take it quick, and Epps stuck his foot out, trying to keep St. Louis from playing quickly, and Susak gives him the yellow card straight away with no warning. As you see, Tim Mulqueen is clearly not pleased with that decision.
Cashier. Lindley got the head to it for Memphis, but not able to clear it. And finally, Leston Paul clears it out for Memphis. It will be tracked down by Fenlison.
That's a good decision from Leston Paul right there, the veteran. wasn't real. There was no real opportunity for a counterattacking chance there, so just elected to clear his lines and live to fight another day.
Bluff City Mafia bangs the drums. They cheer a little louder as we near the end of the first half. Should be nominal stoppage time. We've had 2 yellow cards and no injuries of any import in this first half.
How many times? Every time a ball goes in here, that blows.
As you see on the replay here, that last yellow card for Marcus Epps is Master Cachere was trying to take that free kick quickly and allow maybe a chance on goal for St. Louis, and Epps was right there and tried to snuff that one out, but Susak, said, no, you can't do that, Marcus. It's against the rules, and awards him a yellow card. After no real fouls from Marcus Epps early in the half, but probably a smart move from Marcus Epps, just not to allow them to play quickly and just go ahead and take that yellow card and live to fight another day.
Memphis will restart quickly here with the throw. And Lindley's going to give way here. Sharpie will throw. And one last chance here. Dangerous and up and over the bar. St. Louis getting an opportunity.
It's a rare chance right there for Caleb Calvert, as you said, Pete. Showing his pace and showing his physicality, able to avoid Liam Doyle on that play, and saw Mark Birch coming over, streaking across the 18-yard box, and elected to take that volley early, but sailed it over Jeff Caldwell's bar.
Two minutes of stoppage time.
Strong tackle once again from Weston Paul in the midfield there. Tim Mulqueen, I know he'll love to see that.
Cachere with the takeaway. Streaking Fernandez down the touchline.
Great sliding challenge there from Mark Birch on the midfielder, calling Fernandez, not allowing Fernandez any time or space to be able to find a pass. Just a lovely little nutmeg right there from Tyler Blackwood on Marcus Epps. Returning the favor on Marcus Epps, who's shown his magic so far throughout this first half.
But Memphis has done a good job against Blackwood.
Yeah, we haven't called Blackwood or really Caleb Calvert's name much, the 2 strikers for St. Louis, and really that's a credit to Mark Birch coming back and Liam Doyle sticking really closely to them, and you know that was in Tim Mulqueen's game plan to not allow those strikers to be able to find a lot of joy in the attacking third for St. Louis.
First meeting ended 0-0. And that's the score line here at the death of the first half at AutoZone Park. Cicerone with a head. Doyle responds with one of his own. Pass for Epps off the mark.
And I think in this first half, Pete, 901 FC has had the advantage. But if you're St. Louis, if this game were to end 0-0, that would have to be considered a victory more or less for St. Louis as we come to the end of this first half.
45 minutes in the books and no balls to the back of the net. 0-0 is your first half scoreline. We'll be back with halftime in a moment. Memphis 901 FC has had the better of the run of play, but nothing in the back of the net. 0-0 through 45 minutes. We're back with halftime and a look at the Memphis 3-match win streak. Well, Memphis 901 FC returns to start a three-match homestand, and they really need 3 points tonight as they take on St. Louis FC. 0-0 is our scoreline. Two of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference. St. Louis has won 5 in a row. 901 FC has won 3 in a row. Let's take a look at those last 3 matches for 901 FC.
Well, a fabulous ball, but look where it came from.
Epps patiently trying to go to the top of the 18. That shot, it's a safe rebound. Score! Goal! Najim again!
First shot is saved, but in perfect position, and again making that deep run is Najim right on the doorstep.
Puts it in front, loose, knocked away, kept it, shot, score!
Fantastic goal.
Pierre De Silva.
Fantastic left-footed strike there from Pierre De Silva. Caught that ball off the bounce one time as the 901 FC players do a little dance.
Lindley plays it ahead. Racing in is Allen. Allen
There
shoots.
it is. It's a fantastic goal and ball there from Brandon Allen as he received that service from Cam Lindley and just did a really nice job sealing off.
Takes it right back.
It's good defensive work there from Cam Lindley to be able to track that ball. Great ball from Mark Birch.
Collier in
There
front.
it is.
Score!
Great ball by Collier.
And an easy.
Kunga crossing,
Look at that.
that's in the back of the net, and Memphis has the lead.
The strong side is his left foot, and Lagos Kunga says, okay, I'll go right. Fires that ball across the box to that near post as Brandon Allen was waiting there.
Green, collision. Grandison sends it out, and there's the final whistle. Memphis 901 FC, a 3rd consecutive victory. Najim, crossing,
What a play.
and it's in.
Wow.
Bucket.
Collier weaving his way through. Elliot Collier for the hat trick. There it is! Can Kunga make it even more special? Indeed! To the back post. Look at that. Oh my goodness! A brace for Brandon Allen. Kiesewetter in for the goal! Let's go with the left foot. Jamal Johnson! What a goal! Perfectly placed!
With one touch to settle, and now it's fired to the top of the net. Flag stays down, and Indy 11 has a 1.
Ball struck towards the 18, headed on and headed home. Inside, glancing header, and he caps it off with the goal of the night. I think they want dangerous play call. That one served in the back of the net. Fresno out of nowhere.
Milton serves it in to the back post. It's off the woodwork and it's in.
That's in the back of the net. Another cross into the corner, and Hubbard does even better.
Moberg's gonna take a shot on goal.
With a cross and a fantastic save.
Good shot for Blackwood. Nice play by Van Oakland.
To force him to give the ball up.
Illich saved.
Second in the league in USL League One. He's got an opportunity for another curls and scores. Oh, Zaguro. Moshobani again. Back heel, Moshobani. He did it again. Whips it in, finds the back post. Oh, what a finish. Arturo Rodriguez. Through ball though. Demas the other way. Demas saved by Hara. It's in the middle. Still Jaden Nelson. His shot. It's saved again by Giuliano Chache. Wide open. Fitzgerald covering the mark. Still Rodriguez and stopped by Fitzgerald.
We'd like to thank our official Memphis 901 FC pub partners, All Those Pizza Pies, Silky O'Sullivan's, High Cotton Brewing Company, Crosstown Brewing Company, and more. You can watch every Memphis 901 FC match home and away at these pubs, including Memphis 901 FC's final road match against Indy 11 that comes up Saturday, October the 5th, 6 o'clock kick on CW 30. And if you weren't able to make it to AutoZone Park tonight, don't worry. You still have a couple more opportunities to catch 901 FC in action at home this next week on Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Saturday against Bethlehem Steel. Get tickets today at 901-721-6000 or visit memphis901fc.com/tickets. Memphis a very favorable home schedule coming forward, but needing 3 points in the worst way. Right now, a 0-0 score line here by the banks of the Mississippi River at AutoZone Park. Pete Pranica, J.J. Greer with you, and very entertaining and I think well-played 45 minutes of soccer, but it has not resulted in a goal to this point. As we take a look around the league, Louisville and Red Bulls 2. Louisville City on a 7-match unbeaten run. They will actually be the final opponent for Memphis in the regular season. Those two teams rematching the three most recent conference finals, Nashville and Pittsburgh. Memphis will see Pittsburgh again. Nashville's clinched a playoff spot on Wednesday, but they're just 2 points out of the first place in the East. Pittsburgh trying to claim a playoff spot tonight. And the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, first time, JJ, these teams matched up, Pittsburgh just totally dominated.
Yeah, their legendary coach, Bob Lilly for Pittsburgh, has got that machine rolling up there. The black and yellow, of course, you see in fifth place in the standings. They'll be looking to continue to fight to get up the table and really secure home field advantage.
See where Memphis is right now. They need 3 points in the worst way. They have a couple of teams to climb over to get into the top 10 and qualify for the playoffs. St. Louis FC, pretty solidly going to be in the playoffs, it would appear, barring some really horrific bad stuff going on for them. All right, our halftime stats are presented by Memphis Area Rideshare, but before that, a look at the scoreboard. That Louisville City, New York Red Bulls match, that goes to full-time, 5-3 Louisville City with the victory. Pittsburgh and Nashville, they are at halftime, and a 0-0 scoreline there. Tampa Bay just continues to pound the back of the net, 4-0 over Bethlehem Steel, and Swope Park Rangers, they have had their struggles throughout a good portion of this year. They're up 3-0 on the Independents. Now, the halftime stats presented by Memphis Area Rideshare. Shots even, but nobody's really had one on goal, remarkably. Possession evened out, but still in Memphis's favor. Memphis far more passes. They have been very patient, and they've earned themselves 4 corner kicks in the process.
Yeah, very patient in possession in the build-up, as we saw in that first half. St. Louis very cagey, definitely playing a chess match here, not electing to press 901 FC high up the field, so it's allowed 901 FC to have a lot of possession, but even with that, I don't want to say parking the bus, but really cagey methodology from St. Louis, 901 FC has been able to get the ball in really good areas of the field. They've been able to be able to isolate Marcus Epps in 1v1 situations, and we've seen magic from him. But so far, 0-0 so far, and I expect maybe for there to be a goal or two in the second half, hopefully for 901 FC and the home side if they want to continue to make that playoff push.
St. Louis with 12 clean sheets on the season. That's second most in USL Championship play. Memphis will try to break up that clean sheet when we come back. Second half action on the way from AutoZone Park. Terminix, defenders of home, and Memphis's hashtag on Twitter is Defend Memphis. They've done that well tonight. They have kept St. Louis off the board. 0-0 scoreline as we look at our first half. Highlights and JJ opportunities for both sides, but not a real clear opportunity to put one in the back.
And we saw this a few times early in this first half with Marcus Epps continuing to go 1v1 as defenders. And St. Louis has done a pretty job as well with Cicerone continuing to attack and really be a pest amongst that 901 FC back line. But Cam Lindley was there to be able to stop that play as we saw Russell Cicerone again involved in the mix, and some really physical play so far in this first half.
As you would expect, both these teams very good defensively. Punch out there by Caldwell. Cicerone could not get much on it. Again, neither team has been credited with a shot on goal. Memphis has had multiple opportunities off set pieces.
And it's been Josh Morton several times that was able to get his head onto the ball inside the 18-yard box, and he'll continue to be a threat as we kick off this second half.
Look at Brandon Allen, number 29, leading goal scorer for Memphis. Well, JJ, we talked about it at the top of the telecast. If you're Memphis, can you meet the moment knowing how important this match is? And I think to this point, they have met the moment. They have been, I think, very accurate with service. They've played some really wonderful balls. Finishing has been an issue. Shots have been high.
Yeah, and if you're 901 FC, you got to go get this thing, Pete. St. Louis right now, they're cool with this score. If it ends 0-0 for them on the road, they get a point on the road and they stay in playoff position. But for 901 FC, St. Louis isn't going to give you anything. You got to continue to attack and put shots on goal and really earn this 3 points at home.
De Silva pressuring Fenlison again to get you back up to speed. St. Louis in white, Memphis in blue. AutoZone Park, first of 3 straight here at home for 901 FC. 5 of their last 7 will be here at AutoZone Park. Recently resodded. It's knocked out by Morton. Corner kick coming now for St. Louis.
And it's a fast start from St. Louis. They've started this second half off the right way by Paris G flying down the line and earning his side a corner kick.
Jeff Caldwell making sure everything is in order. Epps is marking Caleb Calvert. And that a very poor effort off the corner kick, and St. Louis gets absolutely nothing out of it.
Yeah, it looked like Master Cachera was looking to whip that ball into the back post, looking for Tyler Blackwood, but unfortunately for St. Louis, sailed that past everyone.
Dangerous here, and then that one will stay in play with the side spin. Caldwell, and then actually it will roll over.
Yeah,
that's a goal kick from the boot of Caldwell. Fernandez with the attempt.
Yeah, decent effort there from Fernandez. A good idea, at least. The execution wasn't quite there. He looked like he was trying to catch Jeff Caldwell off his line and lob him up off that half volley, but unfortunately for St. Louis was not able to execute.
Opportunity here for St. Louis. Trying to get to Cicerone, but then sent back. Memphis now able to gain possession and forcing Kavita to chase it back to his keeper, Fenlison.
A little bit sloppy here at the beginning of the first half from both teams. Not quite able to get a foot on the ball and get possession and a good flow.
And a giveaway. Memphis is able to escape there as Calvert couldn't keep it on his foot.
See a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, this is
both teams.
And then a shot from distance from Cachera, and Caldwell forced to make the saves. And I believe the first shot on target for either side.
Yeah, 901 FC needs to get guys like Cam Lindley and Leston Paul and some of those midfielders. You saw the replay here as Master Cachera was also looking to catch Jeff Caldwell off his line, but couldn't quite get the lift on that ball to be able to chip Jeff Caldwell. But as I was saying, 901 FC really needs to find the foot of Cam Lindley and Marcus Epps and Pierre Da Silva and some of your more skillful guys and settle this game down and get Brandon Allen and Elliott Collier in good positions to score.
And a little bit higher defensive pressure from St. Louis now, too, as you see Calvert coming out to challenge.
And that's part of Caleb Calvert's game as well. He's an industrious striker, big body, really athletic and hard-working. And you saw he just really sold out and went full-on effort trying to catch Jeff Caldwell being lackadaisical in the back. It's well done. Really smart touch right there from Liam Doyle to be able to find Wes Sharpie in the space.
Sharpie trying to connect with Collier. Collier, edge of the 18, has it knocked away. Collier.
Great ball.
Great ball, and Da Silva, that's deflected out. That'll be another Memphis corner. Good idea, and Da Silva with an opportunity earns his side a corner in the 50th minute.
It's a really good hold-up play there from Elliott Collier as he was double-teamed there from Sam Fink. And just a really smart ball, kept his head up and was able to find Pierre Da Silva inside the 18-yard box, who made really good contact on that ball, but Fanuel Kavita in excellent position was able to send that ball out of bounds. Corner kick.
Far post, headed down, but back to Birch. Sends it into the 18. Sharpie with a header that goes wide of the frame.
Looked like Wes Sharpie was standing in an offside position anyway, so it wouldn't have counted, even if it was on goal. But really smart ball there as Mark Birch caught it off the rebound and just floated it to the back post, as there were several 901 FC players on that back post, but I suspect that several of them were standing offside, Pete.
And Memphis with a giveaway. Cicerone. Cicerone sends it in and headed over the bar, targeting Blackwood.
Excellent hold-up play there from Russell Cicerone. It looked like he was faking that first, whipping that ball into Tyler Blackwood, and which allowed Sean Reynolds to be able to fly by, and he looked up, and Wes Sharpie had to honor that run, and then he whips a perfect ball directly onto Tyler Blackwood's head, who, you know, with a player of Tyler Blackwood's quality, he would expect to at least put that ball in goal, but fortunately for Jeff Caldwell, that one sailed over the bar. It's a hard challenge there. A lot of contact there between Leston Paul and Colin Fernandez, as Colin Fernandez is down and grabbing his head, and a lot of commotion right now surrounding our center official, Dejan Susak.
See what decision he renders here. As Fernandez remains down, product of the Chicago Fire Youth System.
A lot of contact there, and it looked at first Leston Paul's foot was up, but he did a really good job of getting that foot back down and not exposing those studs, and he was trying to almost get it out of the way, but it looked like there was some incidental contact between Leston Paul's hand and Colin Fernandez's face, but I didn't see a lot of a foul play there in terms of being malicious, as Anthony Poulos might not agree with that, but fortunately for this game, our center official has done a good job of keeping those tempers at bay, and it'll be a 901 FC free kick in the end.
Yeah, the original call was the foul to St. Louis, and I think because of the severity of the collision and the fact that Fernandez remained down for a while and will now go to the sideline, that St. Louis was thinking that a card may be coming out, but it did not, nor should it have come out. Birch trying to target Doyle.
You saw what Mark Birch was looking for there. He was looking for the head of Liam Doyle, but he was marked closely, but I believe it was Sam Fink, as St. Louis will know that Liam Doyle and Josh Morton are extremely dangerous on set pieces in the air, and they do a good job once again of not allowing them to get their head on the ball.
Another corner kick for Memphis. It'll be their 6th.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. 901 FC breaks through 1-0 in the 54th minute.
Looked like
Chick-fil-A goal.
Looked like that was Marcus Epps there, lurking on the near post. That ball was whipped in from Cam Lindley. As you see the celebration there between Pierre Da Silva and Marcus Epps. Those two guys are always dancing, always having fun after a goal. It's a lovely ball whipped in from Lindley, and Marcus Epps didn't have to do much, just flicked that head and was at the near post, and nothing Jake Finlayson could do on that particular play. As you see the replay here, great run from Marcus Epps and gets a head on it. It looked like that might have deflected off of Blackwood, but Marcus Epps was definitely there first to get a touch on it, and 1-0 to 901 FC.
Epps opens his account in Memphis. Beautifully done. So off the set piece, a corner kick, Memphis the 1-0 advantage.
You figured after time and time again, 901 FC has had set pieces and corner kicks, and you knew they would at least capitalize on one of them.
Epps came into tonight's match with 6 shots on target, and his first shot on target tonight finds the back of the net.
And there's that man, Cam Lindley, with the quality service. Once again, he's done that all season. The consistency and the pace and the delivery of his service is why, you know, he's on loan from Orlando City, but that's why he's been such a highly rated midfielder, young midfielder in the United States and in this league.
The goal brought to you by Chick-fil-A, courtesy of Marcus Epps. So now, J.J. Greer, does this change the dynamic for St. Louis now that they are perhaps chasing the game, trying to at least salvage a point? They were pretty content at 0-0, not nearly so now, down 1-0.
To answer your question, absolutely. I think they got to come out of their shell a little bit, and you can see that now as they're starting to throw more players forward with Tyler Blackwood.
Blackwood marked by Birch.
And that's fantastic defending, 1v1 defending from Mark Birch, keeping up with the lively Tyler Blackwood. But yes, there's still plenty of time left in this game, but I think even just by that response right there, you saw St. Louis throw a few more numbers forward than they have been all game, and I suspect that they'll need to start to come out of their shell and push to get a goal and equalize this thing.
Epps with a takeaway. As we talked about earlier, this is a St. Louis side that when they go on the road, they just do not score goals. They've played 14 road matches and have scored just 12 goals.
And they've looked really cagey so far in this game, and you know they'll need to do a lot more if they expect to get more shots on goal and ultimately get goals. But 901 FC, I think that goal was well earned from 901 FC, and they've done a great job of continuing to be physical. As you see Brandon Allen using his physicality.
Allen turns, flighted ball, not able to make a connection with Da Silva, but a good idea there.
You see Cam Lindley spurring his team on as 901 FC is starting to pressure high up the field.
Tempo starting to pick up here in the 58th minute. Epps in the 54th, the only score. Foul to Memphis and a restart for Sean Reynolds and St. Louis FC.
Lesson Paul picked up that foul. He's been a pit bull in that midfield all game, along with his midfield mate Cam Lindley.
Fernandez, who is well traveled around USL Championship. Good ball in, and that's headed out. It'll be a corner kick for St. Louis.
It's well defended there from Elliot Collier, the striker, who's not typically used to getting back on defense and mixing it up, but important header there as Sam Fink was waiting on the end of that Colin Fernandez cross.
Nervy minute here for Memphis. Birch heads it away.
Good positioning there from Mark Birch, standing on that near post as Master Kasher was looking for some of his strikers or maybe a center back to get on the end of that corner.
Reynolds, Cicerone. Cicerone marked by Sharpie. Fernandez.
It's well defended from 901 FC, forcing St. Louis to track back past the midfield mark. They stood them up and didn't allow them to get any shots on goal or any service into the box.
Leston Paul, you talked about the Bulldog, got a hit on that. But still St. Louis in possession as we approach the 1 hour mark. Fernandez. That's too far. De Silva able to retain possession for Memphis. Now through the middle of the park. De Silva, long run for Brandon Allen. Collier. Dispossessed inside the 18. St. Louis trying for a counterattack. Cicerone. He goes down. And the foul is given. And a card as well.
Definitely a yellow card there from Leston Paul. He took the professional foul as St. Louis was streaking down on the counterattack and looked like they had numbers in their advantage. And Leston Paul elected to foul Russell Cicerone. Cicerone was looking to cut back, and Leston Paul just clips him a little bit to stop that counterattack and earns himself a yellow card. Looks like we'll have Colin Fernandez standing over this one again. The left-footed midfielder. Looking maybe for that back post or right on top of that PK spot for those big center backs in Fanuel Kavita and Sam Fink.
Fernandez, who has played for Louisville City, Tulsa, and Phoenix in USL Championship play, and conversation along the edge of the 18 as far as positioning. Dejan Susak, our referee tonight, making sure everybody is lined up. That's headed away. Cam Lindley onto it for Memphis. Trying to hit De Silva. Cicerone. And that's well defended by Memphis. That was one of the things that Tim Mulqueen really wanted to make sure his team did defensively. Keep St. Louis on the flanks. Do not allow them to come right up the middle of the pitch. Doyle with a clearance.
And he's exactly right. It's time and time again, not only has done a great job of defending those crosses from St. Louis. You see St. Louis is looking to get the ball out wide, but every time they look to get service in the box, it's Liam Doyle and Mark Birch there every time.
And Sharpie whiffed on the header. Let's take a look at the goal for Marcus Epps off the corner. Lindley with a beautiful delivery near post, and Epps the flick off the head, and Fenlison had no chance.
Absolutely, and that was straight from the training ground right there. That was no accident. That play was taken from the training ground as Cam Lindley whipped it into the near post, and Marcus Epps was right there and did a great job of flicking that ball on, and it looked like it might have hit a St. Louis player in the end, but great run and great delivery from Cam Lindley.
First substitution tonight, Kadeem Dakers is in, and Masta Kasher is out.
And a pretty good performance from Master Kasher as he was looking to whip in balls, but Kadeem Dakers brings a lot of pace into this match.
And Lewis Hilton is also on for St. Louis, the 25-year-old native of England. Hilton, a gifted distributor, so Aband is out. So changes in the midfield for St. Louis. But Hilton last year had 3 goals and 6 assists, a very gifted distributor, and they're off a back heel. Paul is able to clear it momentarily for Memphis, but a throw in for St. Louis.
You saw Lewis Hilton came straight on and was able to connect a lovely 30-yard pass into the feet of it. Looked like Tyler Blackwood. So 2 really strong substitutions and guys that have seen a lot of minutes this year for St. Louis, and Kadeem Dakers and Lewis Hilton.
Misplayed there by Calvert. And Memphis will make its first substitution. Ewan Grandison is in, and Leston Paul will go out.
It's a fantastic performance from Leston Paul. He covered a lot of ground tonight and really did a fantastic job in his defensive duties at that holding midfield position. But this is a smart substitution from Tim Mulqueen, as Leston Paul is sitting on a yellow card, so don't want him, of course, to receive a second yellow card and go down a man in this game. But Ewan Grandison will come and he'll do the same as you saw that man do, Leston Paul. He'll cover a lot of ground and be extremely physical in defense for 901 FC.
Grandison making his 8th appearance as a substitute.
It'll also be interesting to see if Tim Mulqueen elects to put in another attacking player in this game, or do you go, you know, if this lead stays at 1-0, do you put in another defensive player and elect to just really park the bus and see this game out? So it'll be interesting to see how Tim Mulqueen decides to go about this game. You see
a very physical play by Grandison, and the foul given. And so a free kick for St. Louis in dangerous area.
You see the strength of Grandison. It looked to be shoulder to shoulder, but as soon as that arm was extended out, Pete, and Cicerone went flying. You see on the replay here, it was shoulder to shoulder beginning, but once that arm was extended from Grandison, Dijon Susak had no choice but to make that call, and it'll be St. Louis with a really dangerous position about 8 to 10 yards outside the corner of the 18-yard box. So we have Fernandez and Lewis Hilton standing over this, and Hilton might go for goal on this over the wall.
Indeed he does, and it's saved by Caldwell.
You can see the way Lewis Hilton was eyeing that thing. He looked like he saw an opportunity there, and he took it, and what a strike that was. But a fantastic save from Jeff Caldwell, who was ready for it and was able to keep that out of the back of his net and parried it out of bounds for a St. Louis corner kick. But fantastic one-handed save as Jeff Caldwell really had to scurry to get across his box.
This is settled. Blocked there by Grandison. Reynolds wanted a handball call. Paris G goes back and chases for St. Louis. So Memphis escapes that bit of danger.
And we haven't had to call Jeff Caldwell's name too much in this game, Pete, but he stepped up big there and was able to make that save.
Epps in the 54th minute. Lindley, the assist off the corner kick, his 5th assist in USL play. Memphis, 3 points vital to their playoff hopes. Currently 13th in the East. The top 10 get in. Lindley, it's over the head of Collier. And Sharpie can't get there, so Memphis turns it over.
Looked like there was a bit of confusion there between Elliot Collier and Wes Sharpie, and probably Cam Lindley too. Wasn't able to decide, who he wanted to hit, particularly on that pass, as Cam Lindley is typically an extremely accurate passer.
Allen with a bit of pressure against Fenlison, and that will go into touch as we remind you. With just 2 weeks remaining, pressure is on. Tune into ESPN3 on October the 2nd at 8 o'clock. El Paso Locomotive trying to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno Football Club has its sights set on hosting some playoff games. Wednesday night soccer, October the 2nd at 8 o'clock. Counterattack for St. Louis, and a bad pass cleared by Sharpie.
You see a little bit of what Kadeem Akers is able to provide St. Louis, as he's a player that's similar to Marcus Epps in that he likes to run at players 1v1 and has a lot of pace, and a lot of flair. So we'll be interested to see if if St. Louis can find him in the attacking third.
Dakers with 4 goals this season, originally a draft pick by the Chicago Fire of MLS in 2014. Nice takeaway by Collier, but then dispossessed, but only momentarily is it out of Memphis possession. Brandon Allen playing it forward, and then the throw-in conceded by Kavita.
You see Cam Lindley starting to get more and more involved in this game as
that ball is gone.
That ball was cleared out of the stadium, literally, from Franwell Convita, electing for the no-nonsense clearance. But Cam Lindley is becoming more and more involved in this game, and it'd be good to see him and Pierre Da Silva, as you saw on the ball there, close this game out for 901 FC.
Lewis Hilton dispossessing Da Silva. Da Silva getting it back. Epps. Da Silva. Oh, pretty ball in there. Collier looking to turn. Opportunity here. Side kick, and that's blocked.
It's a really good attacking sequence there from 901 FC as Finlayson will collect this ball. It looked like Brandon Allen was going for the overhead kick there, which is something that we typically don't see from Brandon Allen, and he made great contact actually, but Parrish G was standing there to be able to block that ball.
Yes.
Well, a good attacking sequence, as you said, but now an opportunity here, and off the volley, Blackwood sends it out. And you talked about Tim Mulqueen, where do you go with your substitutions? Are you going to go defense? Are you going to go offense with a 1-0 lead, desperately needing the 3 points? Final substitution of the night, Calvert out and Kyle Gregg is in. Gregg with 7 goals and 4 assists, a native of Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Caleb Calvert worked extremely hard tonight. Unfortunately, wasn't able to come up with too much in terms of shots on goal or chances created. But Kyle Gregg steps in this game. He's a proven goal scorer, a great finisher, and a veteran of this league. So really someone for 901 FC to keep their eye on.
And you see Hilton begging for a call. Then you wanted a card for time wasting, and Epps is going to get a warning here.
Marcus Epps does need to be a little bit careful in this game as he's already on a yellow card, and this is good refereeing from Dijon Susak here to remind Marcus Epps of that fact that, don't get sent out of this game for a petty reason, as Lewis Hilton was on top of that, as he should be if you're the opponent.
Yeah, Memphis has an opportunity here. You just don't want to do anything silly or untoward that could hurt your team. Memphis took advantage, and we talked about the Loudoun United victory. One of the things we've neglected to mention because of Brandon Allen's match winner, the fact that Memphis was playing the last half hour with a man advantage.
And that really was the turning point in that game, Pete, as Loudoun had a pretty strong advantage. They had a goal advantage, and they were playing really well, but that game really flipped it for 901 FC.
Hilton flaring it wide. Good defense there by Morton.
An excellent recovery as well from Cam Lindley.
Epps. That will not stay in play. Throw in for St. Louis. St. Louis has won 5 straight matches.
And you can see, Pete, that St. Louis has really woken up in this game after going down a goal, and they've really started to fly forward as we have an in-swinging ball here from Sean Reynolds.
And then headed out on the side, Josh Morton. And Memphis is going to make a substitution here, their second of the night, Dwayne Muckett. So Muckett is in, and Marcus Epps, who opened his account with 901 FC in the 54th minute, will go out of the game.
It's a fantastic performance tonight from Marcus Epps, who showed his flair and his pace time and time again as he took players on 1v1 and sometimes 1v2 and was still able to come out the better, but he'll come out as he's on a yellow card. It's another smart substitution from Tim Mulqueen as he's electing to get Marcus Epps out of this game and allow for his squad to still have 11 men, and Dwayne Muckett will check in, who will provide a little bit of offense and defense, kind of a guy that will work hard to keep possession and be able to close out this game for 901 FC.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, that is a really good substitution by Tim Mulqueen because Epps is playing with a lot of passion and a lot of fire, and if it's misdirected, you could be playing 10v11.
Absolutely, and that's why Tim Mulqueen is there, right? That's why he's making the big decisions, and him and his staff are on that, and they're making the decisions to be able to.
Oh, dangerous ball here, and that one got through, but not able to make a connection, but I believe the offside flag was up.
You see Cam Lindley here talking to the officials and his teammates, and we've said time and time again what this game means to 901 FC and St. Louis, but both teams extremely passionate and heated in this game and fighting at the end of this 2019 season in the USL Championship.
We talked about Leston Paul being a Bulldog-type player. The same could be said of Cam Lindley.
It's absolutely the same, and those guys reflect the personality of the staff and Tim Mulqueen. Foul here.
And we'll get a card as well.
Looked like that might have been for dissent there as Brandon Allen tossed that ball away to be able to slow the game down for 901 FC and try to gain an advantage, but Susak once again was on top of it and done a good job at managing this game and not letting it get out of hand, Pete.
Yeah, we've seen the last couple matches have been well adjudicated. But again, if you're Memphis, you have the advantage here. You just cannot do anything to hurt your squad.
And for 901 FC, you have enough players on the pitch with good experience and that are smart players and that'll know how to close out games, and they've shown a much better job of doing that here in the second half of the season. And on the flip side, St. Louis has found it pretty tough away from home to be able to come up with results, but they've done a great job since that goal of bouncing back.
Memphis trying to pin St. Louis to the touchline. Cicerone, and that's cleared by Cam Lindley.
So far, this is going to, according to plan, to Tim Mulqueen of forcing St. Louis wide and getting them to try to whip in service, but they haven't had much joy at all of getting any kind of quality service or getting on the end of anything inside the 18-yard box.
But an opportunity here for service, top of the 18, and that's saved off the boot of Fernandez.
Well done from Jeff Caudle. Once again, a save that he should make and that he will make, 99 times out of 100. But sometimes, when that ball is flying in there, it can do strange things, especially when you have guys like Kyle Gregg and Tyler Blackwood looking for that rebound and trying to make something out of nothing.
Caldwell cradles it. Clean sheet remaining intact now in the 77th minute. Collier, good idea there, trying to hit De Silva. And a foul against Memphis. Quick restart for St. Louis.
And if you're Tim Mulqueen and his side, Pete, you'd love to see this game end on a 1-0 result or 2-0 result and earn that clean sheet, as 901 FC has been able to score goals lately but have had a tough time of keeping teams out of their own net.
For St. Louis, they are back in action a week from tonight at home against Atlanta United 2. Doyle back there battling with Blackwood and winning that duel.
And Liam Doyle has done an incredible job tonight on Tyler Blackwood. Haven't called his name too much at all tonight.
A lot of action in the air, settled by Dakers. Cicerone trying to connect with G. And that will go out harmlessly for a goal kick by Jeff Caldwell.
Looked like Lewis Hilton there was looking for that diagonal ball into the feet or the head of one of his strikers in Kyle Gregg and Tyler Blackwood, but both of those strikers not on the same page so far.
Bluff City Mafia trying to will the home side to a 4th consecutive victory. And these, JJ, are the winning moments. Can you meet the moment? You have an opportunity here. Can Memphis see this game out?
Still a lot of time left in this game, 12 minutes plus some stoppage time, and I suspect there might be a little bit more than 3 minutes of stoppage time, as we've had a few certain fouls and plays that have gone on. But you're exactly right, Pete. And 901 FC has done a great job these past 3 games of being able to close games out. So we'll see what they can do tonight at home at AutoZone Park.
Throw in for St. Louis. They are just 3-8-3 away from home. Memphis on the flip side, 3-6-3 at home. Reynolds. A bit of a hitch there by Dakers, and he gives up possession. Lindley along the touchline. Run down by Sam Fink. Memphis starting a 3-match homestand, and all of them vital to their playoff chances. Dakers. That cross is sent out for a St. Louis corner kick.
And you're starting to see Tyler Blackwood become a little bit more involved in this game as he drifted outside of the 18-yard box. He's looking for the ball. He's had a really tough go at it, battling that back line of Liam Doyle and Mark Birch have really gotten the better of him tonight, but you see him becoming a little bit more active and drift off looking for that ball.
Hilton will take the corner kick. You see Greg there at the near post wearing number 22. Cicerone is in there. Birch got a piece of that corner kick, but Memphis still not able to clear. Now in the 81st minute. Reynolds looks to serve. And the foul given to St. Louis. Birch in his return to action has been his normally solid self.
Fantastic battle there between Mark Birch and his glorious flow as you see him fixing his hair there, and Kyle Gregg. Him and Mark Birch and Liam Doyle have been really 2 solid rocks in that back line, that last line of defense for 901 FC, and haven't allowed St. Louis to really get much of anything, Pete.
10 total shots for St. Louis, but just 3 on target. De Silva working with Collier on the touchline. De Silva's pushed down. Hilton with the strong reaction.
You see what it means to Lewis Hilton. He's coming into this game with a lot of passion, trying to drive his side forward, as Pierre De Silva did a really smart job of getting his body in front of that ball, and he felt the contact and went down, was able to earn his side the foul.
Lindley takes the free kick. Going far post, opportunity there, headed out. It'll be a corner kick. Kavita sends it out, and Josh Morton is down for Memphis.
Lovely driven ball. That ball was on an absolute line from Cam Lindley, about a 50-yard driven ball. He was looking for Josh Morton and Brandon Allen, I believe, on that back post. As you see, this ball is absolutely zipped in, and Josh Morton goes up nicely, and it looks like he might have landed a little bit awkwardly on that left leg of his.
So Lindley remains down, as we remind you that you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN throughout the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus, the home of all things USL, and at least 19 matches a year on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch Memphis 901 and the rest of the championship on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
It looks like, Pete, as you saw that shot there, it looks like Jacob Hauser-Ramsey getting up off the bench for 901 FC, which would answer our question whether 901 FC is electing to go more defensive or offensive.
And now a yellow on Morton for dissent, apparently.
And that was an interesting call by Dijon Susak. Maybe didn't like the fact that Josh Morton didn't leave the pitch in a timely enough fashion.
But Memphis still with a corner kick here. Birch in swinger, punched out by Fenlison.
Look like there's a foul called on Liam Doyle as he maybe held on to Finlayson a little bit longer. And you see the urgencies from Finlayson and St. Louis FC as Finlayson tells his squad to push up higher up the field.
Fenlison conceding his 16th goal in the 54th minute to Marcus Epps. That's how we got our score line off a corner kick, assist by Cam Lindley. De Silva in the middle of the park. Good ball here, Brandon Allen. Allen has a runner. He has Collier. Brandon Allen fighting, looking to turn. Allen to the top of the 18, and we've got a penalty.
What a smart play from Pierre De Silva there as he felt that contact coming on, was able to get a slight touch on that ball and dropped his body, and Dijon Susak awards the penalty kick. And clearly St. Louis and Colin Fernandez and the captain Sam Fink are not pleased about that decision.
It was right, and it was clearly inside the 18. That was right on the border actually, but benefit of the doubt right there.
That was a really smart play from Pierre De Silva as he cut right in front of Colin Fernandez and was able to get that touch. And I'm not even sure Colin Fernandez knew if Pierre De Silva was lurking behind, but it looks like it's not a penalty.
Not a penalty. It'd be just outside the 18. I thought there was a point to the spot. So it is not a penalty, but certainly a dangerous spot. And Hauser Ramsey comes in, and Brandon Allen will come out. The leading goal scorer for Memphis is out of the match, and Jacob Hauser Ramsey comes in.
And that was a lovely hold-up play, by the way, Pete, from Brandon Allen to be able to hold, I believe that might have been Fenwell Kavita off that ball and find Pierre De Silva in that wonderful spot, and as he earned that foul on top of the 18-yard box. But a really nice performance from Brandon Allen tonight. Was not able to get on the score sheet, but proved to be a dangerous attacking threat as he's been all season long for 901 FC.
Hauser Ramsey making his 13th appearance and third off the bench.
It's good to see Hauser Ramsey back from injury. He'll come and provide a physical presence at defense.
And that one deflected off the wall and off of Memphis. Doyle took it.
No surprise.
And then the ball never really rolled out of play, and some indecision on the part of Fenlison. He was waiting for it to roll out, and it never did.
No surprise, Pete, to see Liam Doyle take that free kick, as you had Cam Lindley standing over it, but we know that Liam Doyle has a powerful shot as Jake Fenlison once again.
Another poor goal kick.
Sends that ball out of bounds off the goal kick position. Or from a goal kick. You see clearly Finlayson not pleased with his distribution in this game.
So just under 3 minutes remaining in the 90, but I would imagine some substantial stoppage time. We've had a number of cards. And then the discussion about what we thought initially was a penalty, but then simply a foul at the top of the 18, and a foul given here to Memphis as Sharpie went up high, dueling with Gregg, and Sharpie landing awkwardly.
A lot of contact there as Wes Sharpie went up for the header on that play, and it looked like he was undercut. So it's interesting to see Dijon Susak give that foul to 901 FC as he lets everyone know, including the St. Louis players, that he has the clock and that he will add this on into stoppage time. As Wes Sharpie and other players continue to get water.
Not as hot as it has been here in Memphis over the last week, but still plenty warm.
Not as hot as it has been, but when you get down to these later stages of the game, Pete, it gets extremely intense.
Sharpie remains off.
Looked like Tim Mulqueen and Wes Sharpie were saying that that free kick should be further back past midfield. As Lewis Hilton says, just let me take it. Let me take it.
Native of England, played collegiate soccer in Georgia. Drives this one into the 18. Headed out by Hauser Ramsey. And that from distance comes to nothing. But it will be a corner kick for St. Louis.
You saw why Hauser Ramsey's in the game, as he was able to get ahead on that ball and clear it out. But it was a really good effort from Sean Reynolds, who took that volley with his weaker foot and was able to earn St. Louis a corner kick.
Sharpie back on the pitch. Fernandez to take the corner kick. Sixth corner for St. Louis. Far post headed wide. And a goal kick for Memphis. Again, we expect substantial stoppage time.
And that was a fantastic delivery in there from Colin Fernandez onto the head of Sam Fink, who is a center back that you do not want to leave open in the 18-yard boxes. He's proven to score time and time again and come up big in big moments for St. Louis.
Six minutes of stoppage time.
So we have the feeling that there could be an extended period of time in this stoppage time, and that goes to show, and there's still a lot of time in this game for both teams to get a goal.
Muckett trying to play it up the middle, swept aside by Kavita, picked up by G.
You see the effort from Pierre Da Silva and Muckett to chase after that ball and earn their side of throw-in.
Josh Morton, nice defensive work, earning the throw for Memphis. Da Silva trying to turn, pinned along the touchline, and he is fouled.
You see how crafty Pierre Da Silva is, just has that ball in a string and is so good at using his body to be able to earn fouls.
Kavita in animated discussion with Dejan Susak, who has had a busy night, but I think has done a good job handling this match. These two physical teams.
Absolutely. I think he's done a really fantastic job at managing this game, although both sides would disagree at certain moments of the game. But this is a really, intense game with the huge implications in this late in the season.
Memphis coming in with 28 points, 13th in the East, needing 3 points in the worst way to keep their playoff hopes working. They give up possession there. And what I like about what I've seen from Memphis here in this second half, particularly after the Epps goal, Memphis did not go in a shell. They did not play recklessly offensively, but they played, I think, some smart offensive soccer, looking for a second, but not totally selling out and leaving themselves open to a counterattack. Absolutely,
and that's not Tim Mulqueen and 901 FC style, to just sit back and just absorb pressure time and time again, because it's so hard to be able to defend like that.
Birch. Big run through and then sent away. Blackwood had a good run working and a corner kick for St. Louis.
You see the pace of Tyler Blackwood there is when he finds space. He really opens up that stride and was trying to slot that ball back across the 6-yard box, but the 901 FC defense was there once again to clear that ball out of bounds.
I don't want to talk about stoppage time goals conceded by Memphis, but it has happened.
There's a lot of contact there between Wes Sharpie and Manuel Kavita, but Dejan Susak elects to play on.
Collier sends it back, held by G. Sends it into the 18. Ball loose, saved, and then swept away. Caldwell comes up huge.
901 FC really living on the edge right now, as balls are just being whipped in all over the place from St. Louis into the 18-yard, into 901 FC's 18-yard boxes. It's a wonderful tackle from a goal-saving, most likely tackle from Wes Sharpie, as he had to get that one right, as he got his foot on that ball and did a really good job not to foul Manuel Kavita and allow St. Louis to get a late penalty kick in this game.
Da Silva slow to get up. Kavita had an opportunity, but as you said, JJ, Memphis got it exactly right. Caldwell coming up big.
There's Caldwell and Wes Sharpie, mostly Wes Sharpie on that tackle, as he had to come from behind and really get his foot on the ball, so Manuel Kavita could not get a clean strike inside the 6-yard box.
Probably about 3 minutes remaining, because we've had additional conversation since stoppage time began. This is Fink. Reynolds knocked out by Muckett.
It's well done there from Muckett to be able to cover the ground and close the space between Sean Reynolds and not allow him to get service into the box.
Long throw, headed, and I believe that's going to be a goal kick. Hilton was lobbying for another St. Louis corner.
And that's such a weapon for St. Louis to have, and Sean Reynolds taking the long throw in, and Kyle Gregg did a great job of flicking that ball on, and it looked like it was going to land on the head of Tyler Blackwood, but he was not able to get his head on it.
Caldwell, a very heavy foot.
You can see Pierre da Silva has moved up top to striker, and his endurance and his work rate has been really impressive in the last stages of this game.
A minute or so left in this one. White knuckle moments at AutoZone Park. Oh, a beautiful move. Run started there. Cross across the goal mouth and then swept away, but held in by Fernandez.
Really
De
fortunate.
Silva. Well, you said Memphis living on the edge. They are living on a very thin edge at the moment. Dakers with a left-footed shot. That goes wide.
901 FC extremely fortunate that it looked like it was Kyle Gregg that was inside the 6-yard box and was sliding to be able to tap that ball in, but that ball skated right past him. As you see Cam Lindley yelling at his defense to tune in and wake up and close this game out. But 901 FC extremely fortunate to get away from that sequence of events without having conceded.
We have played the 6 minutes of stoppage time. And there's your final whistle. Memphis, a 1-0 victory over St. Louis. 4 consecutive victories for 901 FC, and St. Louis's 5-match win streak comes to an end.
You can see what it means to the players and the fans. 4 consecutive victories, 12 points as 901 FC continues to move up the table and are fighting to try to get that last spot in the 2019 playoffs.
Well, this result will resound around USL Championship and the Eastern Conference. St. Louis in brilliant form, so was Memphis. But Memphis, the better side tonight, courtesy of Marcus Epps' first goal with 901 FC. We're back with more from AutoZone Park in a minute. Memphis, its 8th victory of the season, now 31 points on the season. Wow. Memphis 901 FC comes away with a 1-0 victory over St. Louis. These two teams have played 180 minutes plus of soccer with one goal, and it belongs to our Bluff City Soap man of the match, Marcus Epps, who opened his account for 901 FC tonight.
And Marcus Epps was extremely dangerous all game in 1v1 positions, as we saw him time and time again continue to show his flair and that magic, and it was capped off by that goal you saw there from that in-swinging near-post corner kick from Cam Lindley. And you see the celebration there, the coordinated celebration there between Pierre Da Silva and Marcus Epps, who was our Buff City Soap man of the match.
And we've seen such great athleticism from Marcus Epps. Just had not been composed enough to finish. He was composed enough to send that one to the back of the net as Memphis wins 1-0. So, for Jeff Caldwell, it is clean sheet number 5. And you know what that means? Chicken Salad Chick. $5 off a $10 purchase at Chicken Salad Chick. Download the free Chicken Salad Chick app and use the promo code 901CHICK, and you'll get $5 off Chicken Salad Chick. Limit 1 per purchase. So Jeff Caldwell earning the admiration of everybody here because they will get a less expensive lunch than they might have had otherwise. But Caldwell was good in the big moments, and JJ, we talk about it as we look at the full-time stats brought to you by Memphis Area Rideshare, the ability to meet the moment. And how about this? One shot on goal, it got to the back of the net. Memphis didn't have a lot of opportunities, but they capitalized on the one they had.
Absolutely, and that's efficiency right there. And they were knocking on the door, truth be told, all night. As Marcus Epps was able to cap it off, and Jeff Caldwell was able to make the saves that he was supposed to make, and then he had that tremendous save off the Lewis Hilton free kick as he scurried all the way across his box to make that one-handed save. So Jeff Caldwell, your goalkeeper, really stepping up tonight, and truth be told, there probably could have been a few guys that could have earned the man of the match honors, but Marcus Epps was the man to earn it in the end, and he had a great game.
So Memphis wins it 1-0. They now pick up their 8th victory against 13 defeats and 7 draws, 31 points, a -12 goal differential. They will be back in action. It's a really, really short turnaround, but it's the Pittsburgh Riverhounds match on Tuesday, a 7 o'clock kip, and then they wrap up the homestand a week from tonight against Bethlehem Steel. Every match is vital. Marcus Epps finds the back of the net in the 54th minute. Memphis 901 FC, a 1-0 decision over St. Louis Football Club. For J.J. Greer and the rest of our crew here at AutoZone Park, I'm Pete Pranica. Thanks so much for watching Memphis 901 FC, the 1-0 victory.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.